move in. All right. Welcome to the Leo Season Workshop. Thank you all for coming here, spending your time with me, your energy with me, investing into yourself, investing into me, investing into the collective. Super appreciative of that. And we will always do our best to be of service to you in whatever way we can. I've got some incense here, so I'm going to light that just to sort of set the mood. So if you've got some incense and you want to light it, by all means. I also was frantically running around my house looking for a red candle because I was like, I know I have a red candle here somewhere, and I found it. So we're going to do a little intention setting again. I'm just going to put this incense behind me. If you are here live, welcome. If you are watching the recording, welcome. The recording will be sent out to everybody tomorrow. It's automatically sent out 24 hours later, and you will also get the downloadable workbook. If you are watching this because you purchased the recording, then go back into your downloads and you will find a separate PDF, and that is the workbook. You can print it, you can just read it on your computer. There's some writing prompts, questions in there. So you guys can just journal, process whatever's coming up for you during this season. And yeah, it's a bit of a lighter energy now, which is beautiful because I don't know about you, but like those last couple days of Cancer season were really intense for me. And I find that that happens. So like the beginning of the season, you feel the shift, and that has its own type of intensity. But then as we move from that sort of 0 and 1 degree of the new sign, we build towards 29 degrees or so. And then we go into the next sign. So when you're in that last like 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 degrees, that last sort of, maybe 3 to 5 days of the season, a lot can be coming up, and a lot of energy that's coming up will be directly related to the sign that we are moving through. So if we were moving through Cancer, maybe you were feeling more triggered, more emotional. Maybe the emotions just like, oh my God, I'm re-experiencing a lot of things, or my thoughts are running crazy. It tends to kind of build like a volcano. And then at the end, we have almost like an explosion or a culmination of some kind. And then we've broken through that energy, that level. We've moved into a new awareness, a new consciousness, what we've learned over that 30-day span. And then we take that knowledge and we move into the next sign. So whatever emotional restructuring was taking place, whatever rebuilding was taking place, it likely came to culmination over the last couple of days, or you may find that through the beginning of Leo season, things start to settle and make a little bit more sense based off what you were dealing with through Cancer season. That's not exclusive to Cancer season or Leo season. That happens every season. And the themes are always directly connected to the energy we were just moving through. We did talk a little bit before we started recording about that Cancer new moon. It was conjunct Black Moon Lilith, which I actually I wasn't fully aware of that. And then I went and got like a few new tattoos, one of them being this sort of like death and rebirth symbolism. And I also tattooed a moon. It's like a waxing moon, so just after a new moon. And beside it, I tattooed Black Moon Lilith. So I have these two on my hands now. And I literally did it the day that Black Moon Lilith and the new moon were conjunct. And I had no idea, which I find fucking hilarious. So then I was reading into this more. And this is what we were talking about before we started recording, is that Black Moon Lilith is very like, burn it down, destroy, let's start again fresh. So you may have found that even if it was just on an internal level, maybe your old stories through the season of Cancer season starting to fall apart. Your old perspectives starting to fall apart. How you see yourself, how you see relationships, what you want for safety, for security, what you need that you qualify as equal give and take, how you show up, how you protect your energy, how you give to others, and how you establish boundaries with what you're giving to others to ensure that you're prioritizing your own self-care, your own self-love, filling up your own cup before we're pouring into the people around us. That was very much a Cancer season theme. So now, welcome to Leo season. The shift has happened. I hope you're already feeling lighter on some level. But what has happened is that all of those emotional changes, all of that potential turbulence or uncomfortable contraction has either subsided, or we're moving into a space where it is now softening and we're being able to step into Leo season more fully, which is an energy of here I am and look at me shine, and I have so much to offer. And with the knowledge of that Cancer season experience, I have more to offer now, but I'm going to do it in a healthier way. I'm going to do it in a way that doesn't drain me, that doesn't take away from me, that doesn't prioritize other people's wellness or well-being over my own. So I hope that through this experience, you begin to integrate a lot of that knowledge and integrate a lot of the awareness that you are constantly shifting, constantly expanding and contracting, but you have matured. Even if it's just 1%, even if you're just seeing things a little bit different, you've matured in such a way that now you're being called to show up differently. And that's what Leo season is all about. Showing up authentically, showing up as your true self, your highest self. It's a good time to get creative, to put yourself out there. If you've been wanting to share a project, I mean, Mercury is in Leo right now. So if you've been wanting to share just some communication that you feel like, I need to say this, and it could be something, there's really no good or bad, but it could be something that is good that you want to share, or something that is a little bit harder for you to share, but it's coming from a place of wholeness, of what you really feel and what really needs to be said in order for you to feel at peace with yourself so that you can move forward in new ways. So this Mercury in Leo transit is really asking us to speak from the heart and to kind of like just get it off your chest. Like if you need to just get it out there, get it out there. Now's the time. Before we dive deeper into this whole discussion, again, I want to say thank you all for coming. I just want to recognize the majority of people taking this workshop are settlers on the land that they are on. So we have a responsibility in reconciliation with the land keepers and the indigenous people that were here before us. And also deaf people are real and want to be involved and want access. So caption your content, hire an interpreter if you can. If you need support with trying to figure that out, you can always reach out to us, and we can try navigating you or pointing you in the direction of one of our collaborators who can consult you on providing more accessible content and events. We have a chat box here, so by all means, if you guys want to put in comments or you guys want to meet each other, use the chat box. And yeah, I've already talked about the recording will be sent out 24 hours after this. So Leo season, the dates are always kind of confusing because I talk to like 4 or 5 different astrologers that I really respect. And like someone says the 20th, someone says the 23rd, someone says the 22nd. So it's roughly, depending on who you talk to or what you're looking at, but it's roughly July 22nd to August 22nd. Leo is a fixed fire energy. So if you think about fire, it is initiation, creativity, expression, it is forward motion, it is expansive. And if you think about comparing mutable fire, which is Sagittarius, mutable fire is kind of like a wildfire. It's just everywhere. The winds are blowing, there's flames shooting all over the place. You're kind of like, oh, I'm safe. Oh God, I'm not safe. Oh, I'm here. Oh God, I'm not here. Oh, it's warm. Oh, now it's cold. It's kind of all over the place. That's a mutable energy. It's going to shift like the wind. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just what it is. If you look at cardinal fire, which is Aries, it's like move forward. Let's spark something and initiate something. So that first spark with a match, that is that Aries energy. It's a new idea. You want to spark it and it's going to grow into something. When you think about Leo energy, fixed fire, it's taking that spark and creating a container of sorts, which is exactly what we were doing in Cancer season, because Cancer season is a big focus on the container, but it's like the container of self, how we maintain ourself, our sanity, our well-being, etc. And then when you move into that Leo energy, it's like taking that knowledge of prioritizing my own well-being and then using that knowledge to mix with our creative inspiration, which is how we create projects, how we create maybe art, or even just like online content, or how you show up. But it's trying to do that in a way that is more manageable. Because if you think of fixed fire, I think of like a campfire. A campfire, you've established a area. You typically have like surrounded it with stones. So it's got like a protective barrier. It's controlled. You're adding wood to it. It's not just like a wildfire burning all over the place. You're focused on creating something and having it maintained in a specific space. So it's reliable. It's enlightening. It's in one area. If you think about Leo energy, it's very loyal, so it's committed. So that's what I envision when I'm thinking of fixed fire, is like a campfire where people can gather, people can share knowledge, people can gain warmth from this experience. I also find, much like Leo energy, it's very cozy. If you want to throw a little gasoline on the fire, it can become big and dramatic, or it could be a tiny little fire that is just keeping your hands warm. So Leo has a lot of range, and so does theater, so does acting. Those are great energies to work with Leo season. If you are trying to, create a screenplay, or you want to put yourself out there in a creative manner, like this is a really good energy to tap into the drama of it all. Leo is often depicted in most ways as the lion, which is, the king of the jungle or the queen of the jungle. I don't really want to attach gender to the lion, but it's the king of the jungle, quote unquote. But what it represents is protection, leadership, strength. It's also independent, it's proud and loud, and lions are very, like, hear me roar. Lions can also be extremely protective of themselves, their space, their family, and they're not afraid to fight. They're not afraid to show their fangs. They're not afraid to, rip you apart if they have to. So just be careful with this Leo energy, bringing you into a space of, I'm fucking right. I don't care what you say. I'm going to rip your throat out if you disagree with me. And then I'm going to walk away and I'm going to just be like, I fucking told you so. And it's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes, very rarely, do we need to tap into that energy. I don't think it needs to be expressed in that way. I think there's nice ways of showing leadership. I think there's nice ways of expressing anger, because when you're angry, you can still express your anger. You can speak like Mercury and Leo from the heart. This is how I'm feeling, and this is what I need to get across. And I'm quite angry in this moment. I'm quite triggered, but it doesn't need to be like chaos, destruction, throw things away. There's two very different expressions of that energy. So in this season, you may want to go either way, but I would suggest to you that you try to really center, bring it into a nice calm space, ground yourself, maybe grow some roots out of your feet, call in some calming energy, and then decide how you would move forward if you were a strong leader. Because leaders don't need to be scary. Leaders don't need to be harsh. Leaders don't need to be aggressive, but they've got something to say. They want to get their point across. And if they're responsible for a team, or they're responsible for a project, or they're responsible for something, then you need to address that accordingly. You need to be assertive, but you don't need to be aggressive. You know what I mean? So yeah, try to keep that in mind this season if you're moving into a triggered space. A lot of you may be called to step into new roles of leadership this season, and that may be triggering. That may make you really nervous. That may make fears come up, imposter syndrome come up. You could just be sitting in a space of like, oh my God, how do I have this conversation with somebody? This is a difficult conversation, but I'm responsible. I need to have this conversation. So like, this is going to be a really good time to explore how you express yourself as a leader and how you express yourself showing up in these new ways. Sorry, I'm just got my iPad here, so I'm just scrolling to see got some like notes here just to trigger my thoughts. The ruling planet of Leo is the sun. Okay, that is the center of the universe. So again, here I am. You can't miss the sun. It shines bright. It is abundant. It is hot. I think it is also extremely giving. It is very generous and it doesn't expect anything back. So keep that in mind when you're giving, that you're not giving because there's an attachment that you're expecting from this person in return. Of course, some, if people work for you, if you have collaborators, there needs to be an equal give and take. But in what ways can you show up and be more generous with your time, with your energy, with your ideas in this season? And how can you express that again in a really healthy way? I do really enjoy, Leos, like a lot of people talk about Leos have this aesthetic that is sort of over the top and it's so royal, and it's like, yeah, that's great, and they can totally tap into like that like queen bee bullshit, which is like beautiful and totally has a space. But I know a lot of Leos that are really quite like raw and natural too, and I find that there's so much beauty and charm and power in just being like, this is who I am unapologetically, and I'm just going to show up looking like this. I'm going to show up with this wisdom, with this body type, with this skin color, with this traumatic past, with this, with all of the high vibrational gifts that they've also gone through and the experiences that they've had over the years, and that they can share something. And I think that this is a huge opportunity for all of us to really step into sharing. Like, what do you have to share? How can your experience inspire other people? And how can your experience support other people's consciousness and support other people's growth? Because that's what the sun is doing at all times. It's supporting all of life on this planet. Like, yes, we also need water. Yes, we also need soil. Yes, we also need air. But fire is an extremely important element because it actually sends all of this life force energy down to the earth, down to the plants, down to our bodies, and it allows us to re-energize ourselves. So in what ways can you be helping the people around you re-energize? How can you help the people around you grow? And then that way they can continue to support you and you can continue to grow as well. So there's this really nice give and take that happens through Leo season. And I think that we have an opportunity now to really step into that. The sun also represents our conscious awareness. The moon represents our unconscious awareness and our emotions. So that's why every month when we have a full moon, the sun is illuminating the moon. So the sun is illuminating all of those emotional experiences that are going on below the surface, the emotional tides that are within our body. As the sun is opposite of the moon and they're both in balance across from each other, all of that unconscious awareness that is the moon is all of a sudden illuminated. So there is a light being shined onto the things that have been hidden from us subconsciously over the past how many years, how many cycles. So this Leo season, we will have a full moon in Aquarius. I'll get the specific date later on because I have those notes below, but this is just coming through now, so I'm going to go with it. And all these dates will also be in the workbook. Or they're also on the calendar. If you guys have our astro calendar, it's all listed on there as well. But a full moon in Aquarius is like, how are you showing up for the community at this time? And a lot of us, especially if you're here, if you're somebody who is, moving through life consciously and you're really trying to do the healing work, you're trying to put yourself out there in new ways. You are not the same person you were last year in Leo season. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So how you show up and how you provide and what is moving into the forefront of your conscious awareness is now a completely different experience than it once was. Yeah, I've got August 11th here for the full moon in Aquarius. So the full moon in Aquarius, if you think about Aquarius, it's very focused on community, on us, and restructuring the community and rewriting the narrative. And it happens in the Leo season, which is directly tied to me, who I am, and how I show up. So the relationship between Leo season and a full moon in Aquarius is, how are you now showing up with the knowledge that you now have, with the platform that you now have, with the resources, the experiences, the knowledge that you now have, and how are you presenting that out to the world? And what old limiting beliefs or fear or scarcity or imposter syndrome or whatever stories, perspective, narratives, what is coming up in those moments? So what is coming up between now and August 11th that is making you feel fearful of stepping into a new role in the community, stepping into a new space in the community, shining bright in the community, sharing your wisdom? How do you move through life? How do you take up space? The sun never says, oh God, I'm so sorry, I'm a little bit bright. I know, I'm sorry that I'm so bright, you guys. It's like, no, he's just like, bitch, if you can't handle the heat, get back inside, throw some sunscreen on. Like, I don't know what to tell you, you know what I mean? Like, he's not just, oh God, he's like, no, he's like, I'm here and I'm ready to roll. So how can you show up and how are you now ready to roll into this next chapter? How are you going to move through this next space? These are, again, these workshops, I'm just trying to share what knowledge was coming through to me. These are supposed to prompt new ideas, new thought processes in your mind and give you just a little bit of a heads up of what we're moving into so that you can navigate life a little bit easier with the current astrology. Some positive expressions that we already talked about: creativity, joy, tapping into that childlike energy. A lot of people talk about Aries being the baby or Gemini being the baby. Aries is more like the infant that comes out and is like right out the womb. And it's like, I'm here. It's like, okay, you are here and you are sparking new life and you are going to grow into something beautiful. Awesome. And then Taurus is a different vibe. We get into Gemini. Gemini also has a strong connection to children and siblings. And Gemini is more about asking questions and getting curious and that type of thing. Then we move into Cancer and we go through the emotional reset. And once we get into Leo, we're really being asked to tap back into that childlike joy, but from a higher level of maturity, from a higher level of knowledge of like what fun actually looks like. Because again, you are not the same person experiencing Leo season that you were last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So maybe fun for you used to look like, you just Friday, Saturday, want to get fucked up, go out with your friends, get wasted, forget about everything. Like you're just a teenager, just doing your thing. You know what I mean? But like, as you progress, as you mature, you start saying like, no, I want to respect my energy in different ways. I want to choose who I'm hanging out with. I want to choose what I'm putting into my body. I want to choose who and where I'm sharing my energetic space. And I think that when we get into Leo season, because if you think of the tarot card, the sun, I don't know if let me see if I can find it here. It's like a naked baby riding a horse, which is like a fucking vibe. Like, just titties out on the horse, galloping down the beach. Just like, what else could you ask for, And I think that there's so much joy. Like, look at this guy's face. Seriously, like, just look at that face. He doesn't give a shit about nothing. Like, he's or they are just fully out and expressing themselves. And I think that this is what we're called to tap into this season, is this childlike joy. But experiencing fun, experiencing joy looks different. we're in a different space now, so we need to move differently. So this is a really good time to get out and get curious about what makes you excited. Like I've been researching literally horseback riding, which is what the baby's doing, and trying to see if I can find a space to do it buck naked. That would be amazing. But also like archery. Like, I don't know why, but I have such a fixation with like the long blonde hair, Lord of the Rings, super hot. Oh my God, what actor is it? Somebody pop it in the Legolas, sure. Orlando Bloom, yeah, oh my God. I'm in Portugal, so we say Legolas. But that being said, I am like obsessed with him and his bow and arrow. I don't know what it is, but every time he pulls those out, I'm just like, that's me in a past life. Like I'm just like, I love it. So like, I'm looking to start archery, which is just like a random fun thing that like, I'm not going to go to the Olympics. I'm not going to like start selling like archery workshops. Like, I just think that I need to do something just for the fun of it. And I think that that's really important for everybody here to like figure out, what does fun look like now? So start getting curious about that. Start putting yourself around new people who experience fun in different ways. Maybe it's like Kriya and breath work. Maybe it's hiking. Maybe get a tent and just go to the beach and go camping for 3 days or something. Like, try to do things that are outside of your normal, quote unquote, traditional experience of fun and see what that brings you. Because what that's also going to do is get a different part of your brain working. It's going to start sparking new ideas, new creation. It's going to calm you down. It's going to put you in a state of relaxation. You're not going to be in fight mode. You're not going to be in flight mode. You're not going to be, anxious, especially if you go into it with the idea of like, if I fall, I'll get back up. I don't really care. It's like, I'm just here to experience fun. And in that space, that's when we can actually start communicating better with spirit. That's when we actually are getting these downloads. That's when our energy is free flowing. So I urge you this season to try to figure out what that looks like for you. This would also be a great time to update your look in some way. Maybe you want to change your home up a little bit. I just bought a new couch. It's just so cute. You want to see my new couch? It's so cute. My new couch and my table. I need a side table still, but like, we'll get there. It's a process, right? But like, just updating your space, buy yourself a new shirt, maybe change your hair up, trying to figure out how you can take up space, respectfully so. So can you, again, like we just released a music video. Do I give a shit if I get 1 like or 1,000 likes on the music? I really don't. I just love making music and I love being creative like that. And I have so much fun working with all these teams. It's like, so we just do it. So like, do things like that just make you feel excited and take up the space that you are. The video's so good, right? Sorry, I was reading a comment from Christiane. But yeah, I just feel like take up space. You're allowed to take up space. And this is such a fire energy. This is very much an Aries energy as well. Like Aries is there and they are loud and they are ready to show up in whatever way they internally feel that they're supposed to be showing up. And I think as long as you're doing that and you're not taking up too much space, you're allowing other people to speak, you're not, appropriating things or like doing things that other people really should be doing. It's like, I think it's just an opportunity for you to be like, I have this gift and I want to share it and I'm going to move forward doing so. A couple ways this could negatively manifest is that we feel, again, really quite entitled. Like I said, like it's my way or the highway. I know everything. I know the best. I'm the loudest. I'm the biggest. I'm the smartest. And it's just like, don't let your mind even go there. It's not all about you. Okay. It's about all of us. And you are a beautiful, unique expression of all of us. And I think the sooner you can tap into that expression, but you can also share space with other people, then we can build each other up and we can all reach our full capacity and we can all reach our full potential sooner. So definitely stand in your place, but don't think that, again, the universe revolves around me. Like it doesn't. And like your guides, the universe will humble you very fucking quickly. I will tell you that. So you don't even want to put yourself in that position. Okay. And the other thing is, we can feel, especially because we just came out of Cancer season, which was very emotional, we can feel like, oh my God,
this is all about me. These people are talking about me. These people are angry with me. Like, when I say it's not all about you, I don't always mean in like an ego way. I can also mean in like a we take it very personally way. So just be careful with that, because yes, Leos are strong and beautiful and big and brilliant, but like they're also just like a little kitty cat that's just like, please don't hurt me. I just want love. Like, and I saw this meme that's like, why is every cat just like one pet away from sensory overload, which I think is very good for Leos, because Leos are here and they're tuned in and they're excited and they want to be connecting with people and they want to show off their gifts. But it's like they can become very overstimulated very quickly and just want to shut down. So like, just be aware of that. And if you need to bow out or you need to cancel plans, then just cancel some fucking plans. Like, prioritize yourself. We just learned how to do this in Cancer season, so make sure we are maintaining this energy. Leo rules the 5th house in modern day astrology. So the themes of the 5th house are creativity, pleasure, romance, self-expression, children, childhood, joy, and play. So again, keep those in mind. We're going to try to tap into how we can use this energy to our benefit. I'm going to pull some tarot cards here. Okay, this one wants to come out. LOL. Like, this one wants to come out. It's the sun. So there you go. We talked about that already. Look at these sunflowers too. Like, so much bright energy here, so much joy. Like, that baby just waving their flag, riding a horse down the street is like, it's a vibe. Tap into it. Show off. I also feel like the sun is, again, how we show up in this world. So it's like, allow your new identity to continue to emerge. You don't need all of the answers. You don't need to know exactly where it's taking you, where it's going, but just trusting in the journey of self-discovery and peeling back all of those layers. Like, you're a stinky onion, just keep peeling back the layers and eventually you'll get to the core of who you are, because society, school, social media, movies, Hollywood, like all of this shit, they just put all these expectations and layers onto us and we lose ourselves in all of this space. I've got the Hangman here reversed, so I really feel like, what are you holding back? Why are you holding yourself back? And it's funny that I pulled this because we're going to go into a meditation in about 5 minutes. And the meditation is literally about, what do you have to share and why are you not sharing it? And when I see the Hangman reverse, this is the Hangman upright, which is like, I'm trapped, I'm stuck, I can't move, I'm gaining new perspective, but I don't know what I'm doing. And when I see this reversed, it's like, I've got the perspective. We have the sun here. It is clear as day. I know what I need to be doing now. And maybe, again, you don't have all of the pieces. You don't know where the project's going, but there's an energy here of like, I can just move forward step by step, day by day. You don't need to know what's going to happen in a week, in 6 months. It's about right now. This is the only reality that we're dealing with, not the bullshit from the past, not the anxiety from the future. It's like, today is the only day that you actually can experience life and move through it. So like, do what you can do. And I also have a 6 of Wands here. This is about victory and recognition. And like, look at that guy on the horse. We've got 2 horses here too. So I don't know if like horse energy is maybe coming up for some of y'all. You could look into the spirit animal. You can look into the spirit animal, the horse, or I don't really like using the word spirit animal because it's somewhat appropriated from indigenous culture, but the idea of animals, like all animals carry an energy. So look up the energy of the horse and see if that resonates with you. But this is all about support as well. Like, if this person never put themselves out there, if this person never got into that battle or that competition, then they wouldn't know that they were a winner. And all of the people around them, see all the people behind the horse carrying the wands, they're all marching with them, applauding them. They're like, holy shit, dude, you did it. Great job. So like, what can you do to put yourself out there to get that applause, to get that recognition? Because again, you were given, I'm going to shuffle these other cards too. You were given, and you are continually given, different downloads, ideas, ways of expressing yourself, and nobody else is given those. So like, don't water those down and like, oh yeah, that came to me, but like, I don't know if that's meant for me, or I don't know if I'm good enough for that. That's not your soul saying, ooh, I don't know if this is for me. That's your mom's voice in your head. That's society's voice in your head. That's like the bullshit people who are jealous or too scared to do it themselves or whatever. Like, you don't need those projections controlling the way you move through life. So whatever ideas, downloads, creative ways of expressing yourself, new businesses you want to start, new programs you want to start, like, this is the fucking time. And if you put it out there, eventually it will manifest. It might change shape. It might look nothing like you thought it would look, because maybe when you got the download, you were still processing it through your internal human logical mindset. And in doing so, you were limiting yourself. You were not allowing yourself to see the full potential because you've never experienced potential or expression of a manifestation at the level that the universe wants to give it to you. So you're watering it down. You're telling yourself, oh, you know, yeah, like maybe next year I'll make $100,000. Well, maybe next year you'll make $1 million fucking dollars. And then the year after you'll make $1 billion. It's like, why limit yourself based off of what the stories that people give you to believe? Like, it doesn't make sense. So put yourself out there, do what you can. And I promise you, by the time the end result shows up, and again, maybe it doesn't look anything like it does at the start, but it will get you into a place of recognition. This is a 6, so this is a balanced number. So this will bring you peace and harmony to some degree, expansion, opportunity. Okay, these 3, oh, that's a lot of cards, but I'll take this one and this. Okay, I'll just take them all because wow. The first one that falls out is the eternal child. So tap into the childlike joy. What can you do to express yourself in new ways to get curious? I also have the shapeshifter here. So give yourself permission to shift your shape. We have been going through so much internal restructuring. Externally, things also need to change. I also have the vessel. So how are you caring for your vessel? Wow, you are changing your shape while you are tapping back into that eternal knowledge, that childlike joy, and learning new ways to express yourself. I have the seed here as well, because we're planting new seeds and we're moving into a new identity, a new garden. We're trying to grow ourselves in new ways. And the last one I have here is the fault line. And when I see the fault line, it's this dark crack through the middle of the card. And I feel like you've got so much color here. And like there's light at the end of the tunnel and there's expansion happening. And there's this seed that holds all of this possibility. But then when I look at the fault line, it's like, what are those stories that crack the foundation you're trying to create? What are the stories that crack the narrative that you believe, which is like, I can fucking do this. And then it's like, oh, fuck. But like, remember that one time I failed? Or like, my cousin said I couldn't do it. It's like, well, fuck your cousin. You know what I mean? It's like, send her love and light. I'm like, don't really. But like, I mean, don't really say fuck her. I mean, truly send her love and light. Like, she's on her own path. That's great. But I feel like the fault line, like, this is not your fault. This is not your bullshit in your mind. So don't allow other people's stuff to really hold you back. Aside from the sun card that came up, the other card for Leo is strength, which is about gentleness, actually, because it is a gentle woman controlling a lion. And she's not controlling the lion through a cage or through grabbing. She's literally petting him. She's calm. So how can you be grounded? How can you tame that beast inside of you? How can you create more self-control so that you can be assertive and get your point across without being destructive? Okay. It's a lot of talking. It's like, I just talked and then 40 minutes goes by and it's like, holy shit. Okay, so we did all of this. I'm going to now just talk quickly about the astrology. All of the dates are in the book, so I'm gonna kind of just fly through this, and you have the reference in the workbook and also on the astro calendar. The astro calendar is not downloaded with this. It's a separate thing that we have on our site. On July 28th, we have a new moon in Leo. We're going to set big goals. We're going to step into our new identity. We're going to express ourselves in new ways, unapologetically, and we're going to be authentic AF. Jupiter is also going to retrograde in Aries the same day. This is why I love astrology, because it's so poetic. So like the new moon in Leo is saying, plant a fucking seed, like that oracle card I just pulled. Plant the seed, okay? New you is showing up. It's going to take time. We're going to process it. We're going to move through it, but plant the seed. Jupiter is in Aries. Jupiter expands everything. Aries is how I show up. Also, it's my identity. It's my ego. When Jupiter is retrograde, it is slowing down and going backwards. Not really, but that's the idea. Going backwards in Aries. So on this new moon, you're going to plant these new ideas and this new personality, and you're going to invite in your new identity. And then Jupiter is going to stop expanding your old identity, and it's going to roll backwards as you begin to contract and to peel off all of the shit that you no longer associate yourself with. The things you no longer believe about yourself, about what you want, about who you are, about your ego. Jupiter is going to contract and roll backwards through a part of the sky that represents your identity on the same day that you get to plant a seed to invite in a new identity. So this is what's happening. It is going to roll back into Pisces, which is going to allow you to understand that you've just established a new identity for yourself. You've recognized the things that you no longer connect with, the parts of your old identity that you want to let go. And then you move into Pisces, and you now get to reframe all of the dreams that you have for yourself and the goals that you have for yourself, because some of those goals were connected to the old identity, which we are now retrograding through and releasing. And you get to reshape these dreams and attach the new dream once Jupiter is moving forward again. You get to invite the new dream, and that new dream is attached to the new reality and the new identity that you just invited in with the new moon in Leo. So it's like literally a huge internal identity shift taking place. And you've got time to reframe this. You've got time to restructure this. So stop rushing. Like the energy right now too is in such a space of like, busyness is not attractive anymore. The grind is not attractive anymore. Grinding wears you down. Grinding creates powder. You don't want to turn into powder. You want to empower yourself and invite abundance, and like, you want to be at peace, and you want things to flow towards you. That is the new reality that we are creating. On August 2nd, Mars, Uranus, and the North Node will all be conjunct in Taurus, which means they will be together. So Mars, Uranus, and the North Node will be together in Taurus. This establishes a new 2-year cycle. We are going to have surprise awakenings, surprise opportunities, new doors opening. We're going to have new commitments and challenges, and we're going to be asked to take new action towards our destiny. North Node in Taurus, building long-term foundations, long-term resources. Mars, North Node, and what? And Uranus. So, sorry, I'm reading one of the comments. Mars is how we take action, what we protect, what we fight for. Uranus is surprises, eye-opening experiences, new awareness coming through, new downloads. And North Node is the direction we're moving in as a collective. This is all happening in Taurus, which is about foundations. Taurus is the second sign. So that foundation that you're building over the next 2 years, which sounds a lot longer than it is, and it doesn't mean it's going to take 2 years to be established, but in this 2-year cycle, you are establishing something in Taurus energy, which is the second house of 12 houses, which means we then have 10 fucking houses to go through before we even get back to Aries, and then we get to Taurus. So it's like we got a long time. So what you're building over the next 2 years, what you are restructuring, these are long-term things. This is like when you plant a seed and it's an apple tree. It takes time to grow, but it will bring you apples every single year. So like that's what we are creating. We have a new path opening up. On August 4th, Mercury will be in Virgo. Mercury loves being in Virgo. So we have all of these new ideas that are opening up. We just described that. That's happening August 2nd. And then 2 days later, Mercury in Virgo is going to say, perfect. How do we get the details together? How do we organize this? How do we organize finances, resources? How do we get specific? How do we get intentional? How do we create a process that will support this growth? Don't expect that on those days, all of this information comes through. Like you would be entirely overwhelmed and you'd be like a deer in the headlights. You'd just be like, I can't move. I don't know what to do with all this information. So I like to think that when these conjunctions, when these doors open, they open and the energy starts flowing towards you now. It's not, it all happens at once. And it's like, holy shit. So like, don't pressure yourself to do it all that day. It's just, that is now the energy that we're working with. That is a new current that is moving with you. Okay. And then August 11th, we have the full moon in Aquarius, which we talked about how you show up in community, rewriting the story. And then that same day, Venus goes into Leo, and Venus is very happy in Leo. And there's an opportunity for us to commit to our relationships, our collaborations in new ways, to welcome in new money, to get beautiful and feel beautiful and show off in a healthy way. So if you're looking for a day to feel sexy, August 11th would be great. It'll also initiate a new cycle of you feeling fun and flirty and cute and all that. So just like get ready to like hot girl summer it up, or however you identify. Okay. We're probably going to go 5 minutes over just because I want a little bit of a Q&A for anybody who has questions at the end. If you need to leave, of course, you can leave at any time. I am going to do the meditation now. It's not super long, so I'm going to try to keep it like 6 minutes, maybe 7 minutes. But yeah, I think it's important that we tap into this energy. So before we do that, I'm going to spark this candle. There's a sticker on this side, so I'm going to turn it so you just see the pretty candle. And this is red. And I chose red because it's a very powerful color. It's also focused on the root chakra, which is foundations. And yeah, I don't know. I was just really drawn to the red candle today. So we're going to set any intention that you want into this candle, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the recording, it doesn't matter. So if you want to just take a second and ground yourself, you can take a deep breath. We're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, and hold, and release 2, 3, and 4. And you can just picture a candle in front of you, or you can look at the candle that I've got here. I'm going to let this burn. And I ask that you just charge this candle with whatever intention you want to invite in for you. If you want to set a second intention for someone you love or care about, by all means. So just take a moment and set your intention now. I'm going to spark this candle. It literally feels like an energetic balloon is around it right now, which is so funny. So I'm going to spark that candle and invite that intention in. That is a tall, strong flame right off the top. Holy shit, look at that. That is a big flame. So it's likely going to manifest larger than you expected, which is very Leo vibes, which I love. And like, she's really burning strong. Holy shit. I've lit a few of these candles and they don't always look like that. I swear to God. And yeah, okay. Hopefully it comes in a little sooner than expected as well, because it did pick up quite fast, which is a great sign. And there's not much smoke coming off of it, so there shouldn't be too much confusion about how to get there, which I really like. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so we can close our eyes. I'm going to, if you're deaf, of course, you can continue to watch the interpreter. We're going to use our third eye. I want to just explain that Leo rules the heart and the upper back and the spinal cord. So think about Shoulders back and broad. Spinal cord tall and strong. Heart opened, chest forward. It's like, this is how you show up. This is how you show and exude confidence. This is how you stand tall and proud. So we're going to just take one inhale as we settle into this space. So let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And exhale, 2, 3, and 4. And before we start with the visualization, I just want you to tune into your body, what you're feeling. See if you can relax a little bit more, releasing your jaw, taking your tongue off the roof of your mouth, relaxing your eyebrows and your forehead and your shoulders. Do you find tension anywhere else in your body that you can relax into a little bit more? What can you hear, smell, see, taste, feel in your environment? And now with this awareness, I want you to really tune into your imagination, your third eye. And I want you to imagine that you are standing on a stage in a big, beautiful theater full of people, and they're friendly and they're welcoming and you're not nervous and you have something that you want to share. So I want you to choose just one thing. You can do this at a later time and choose another, but just for this practice, choose one thing that you really want to share, that you want to share with the world. It could be a story, art, a new business, gifts, your talents. It could be past struggles to help other people on their healing journey. Maybe it's just one word or an object. I want you to just think about what it is that you want to share. And the first thing I want you to do is send gratitude to yourself and appreciate that you have this gift, whether it's in your mind good or bad, whether it comes from joy or trauma. It's something that you've got that was meant for you to pass forward to the collective. So I want you to just appreciate that for 1 second. And whatever it is, I want you to imagine that it either takes shape in some way, it's a color, maybe it's a symbol, but it's inside your chest. It's in and around your heart chakra, and that you've got some sort of energetic manifestation of what it is that you want to share. And it's floating within you. Now I want you to put one of your hands on your chest, and I want you to slowly pull it out. And hold it out in front of you on the stage. And I want you to take a good look at it and see what is holding you back from presenting it. Is there a darker cloud around it? Is there chains? Is there maybe a person that comes to mind or an experience that comes to mind? How is it trapped? Why is it trapped? Is it old thoughts or fears of judgment? Is it the idea that it's not perfect, you're not ready, maybe somebody else is also doing this? Whatever it is that's holding you back, I want you to visually see that surrounding it. And now I want you to set the intention of releasing these blocks. And you can either shake it in your hand, you can squeeze it, you could peel it back, you can set the intention, but I want you to see all of this blocked energy fall off and be released. As it falls to the ground, the universe takes it away and recycles it. And in your hand, I want you to see the gift as it is. Now I want you to watch it expand in your hand. As it gets larger, it begins to grow in size. Maybe it takes on a new color, a new shape, a new vibration. But I want you to see it get larger in your hand as you're presenting it to this audience. And then I want you to see it expand so much that it starts taking up space on your arm. And then it begins to cover your body. And now it's filling the entire stage. And it pours over into the front row, and it moves up the theater into the middle and the back, and it starts filling the nosebleed section. And then it expands outside of the theater, and it moves into the block, into the city, into the town that you're in. And I want you to see the people that it's covering smiling, and they're excited and they're receptive. And then I want you to see it expand into the country and expand into the world. And I want you to feel it being received, feel it being appreciated. And then I want you to focus back in on your hand, on your body, which is holding this. It came from you. It's received by many, and you're still alive, and you're surviving, and you're thriving, and you're at peace. And it was easier than expected. And now I want to lock this memory and this vibration into the subconscious mind in a place of safety. So we're going to inhale all of this energy, and we're going to hold it back into the body, into the subconscious, so that we can remember this safe space when we begin to present what we want to present. So let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And exhale, 2, 3, and 4. And now the last thing I want you to do is to take your hand off, bring it back by your side, and allow this creation to just be released. To do what it is meant to do, to inspire who it is meant to inspire, to help and heal who it is meant to help and heal. And it will take on its own energy form. It'll take on a life of its own. And you're at the creation, you're at the center point of all of this. So before we open our eyes, I just want you to put your hands back over your heart where this came from. And I want you to give gratitude. And I want you to fill that space now with just white light, because these gifts are meant to come up and out of you, and then you are meant to refill yourself so that you have space for the next gift. And I want you to release any fear around it. I want you to give yourself permission to share. And I want you to take one last inhale here as you feel the safety you're still experiencing within the body. So you can inhale. And when you're ready, you can exhale and ground back into the space, back into your body. And you can open your eyes. Maybe stretch out your neck. And when we have a moment of we are here again, and we have connected back into this space, then I will say thank you for joining me. I am looking forward to hopefully seeing some of the manifestations of whatever everyone wants to present at some point in time. And before we disconnect, I'm going to leave the chat open here we're already 5 minutes over, and the interpreter is definitely Oh my gosh, I am deaf and I appreciate the accessibility. Yay! Oh my gosh, Gabrielle, hi. I love when deaf people show up. Oh my God, it makes me so happy. I love that. Tell your friends. Oh, I love that so much. Okay, so yeah, if we have any questions, by all means, you can pop them in the chat. It is quite challenging to interpret things by yourself for an hour. So I'm going to keep the questions maybe just like 2 minutes. But you will have the workbook. You will have this recording. You can watch back at any time. Daniela just put the link for the new music video in the chat group, which is so funny. It's all about like showing up as yourself and just, it's such a Leo season vibe, which I love. Okay, if we have any questions, totally, or comments even, yeah, totally had an energetic release during the meditation. Love that. That's what we're here for. And like these meditations, if you have any of the other workshops from other seasons, or even the new moon workshop, the full moon workshop that's on my YouTube, you can do the meditations anytime. You're just like, ooh, I just want to like center in for a second. And like, I much prefer a guided meditation over a like just sit with my eyes closed kind of meditation, because like it doesn't really work for me. I'm too active. So by all means, use any of these meditations as many times as you need to. I heard about creative visualization for Leo season, how powerful it can be. What do you think about this as both a spiritual and somatic practice? Yeah, so when I think of creative visualization meditations and stuff like that, I would say that's like dream board energy. That's like put it down, create a manifestation board, sit in front of it and like look at it, and you've created that. So that's step one. Like you literally manifested that board and now you're manifesting everything on that board. So it's like, just sit in the energy of experiencing what it would feel like in your energetic body while looking at each thing on that board. So like maybe you have a cabin in the woods and you're like, oh, I feel so relaxed. I feel so safe. I feel so good. It's like, that's the energy you want to sit in. Of course, if you're actually in the woods meditating, then you can't have your vision board there. So like you can just sit in the visualization of what it is that's coming into your life, of what it is that you want to experience, etc. I also would say like take a photo of your dream board and carry it with you on your phone, and then you can just tap into it anytime or put it as your screensaver. But yeah, Leo season would be a great time for that, because Leo energy is really tied to the heart. And when you're manifesting from the heart space, it's going to come in a lot faster, especially if, again, that Leo and Aquarius axis, which is like the line in the sky where Leo's on one side and Aquarius is on the other side. Like if what you're presenting and what you're manifesting is going to in some way serve the collective, or if it's going to create more peace and stability in your life so that you can be of better service to the collective in some capacity, then things are going to manifest a lot faster. Things manifest slower and sometimes not at all if it's coming from like a selfish place or a place of fear or scarcity or whatever. It's like, you don't want that type of shit anyways, and that's not a good vibration to be manifesting with. So yeah, really trying to stay in that heart space. Finding you has changed my life in so many ways. I love that, Heather Hayes. Keep it up. I haven't found myself emotional at all during Cancer season. That's, you know what, and that's what is so interesting about us all having our own unique chart. I've chatted with a lot of people this Cancer season who are like, this was not bad for me. And I would say it really wasn't so bad for me either. Like last year and the year before, when we had all these eclipses on the Cancer Gemini axis, those are really intense for me. I definitely had a few like trigger moments, especially because I'm going through so much restructuring internally and externally. So yeah, I definitely had those waves of like emotional turbulence through this Cancer season. But I think, yeah, feeling very energetic and being able to take on the world. No, I don't think that it's wrong to feel those things. And I don't think that you need to pretend you're not feeling that so that other people don't feel, you know, jealous that like, well, if I'm having a bad day, why are you having such a great day or something? Like, you're allowed to thrive. You're allowed to do well, even if other people are struggling. And you know, at some point, you in some capacity will also have a struggle that you're dealing with, and other people will be thriving. And it's like, that's the ones that are thriving can help lift the other ones up. That's this polarized experience, right? So I don't think that you need to feel bad about any of that. Launching a new social media marketplace for spiritual holistic communities called Healer Verse. We've been taking our workshops for 2 years now, and this fall you want to learn from each other, find workshops and events. Cool. Yeah. So everybody take a peek at Trish Kane. She is setting up Healerverse, which looks super cool. Trademarked. I love that little trademark emoji. Yeah, and that's great. Instagram is Trish Kane, Kane verse. VERSE, Trish Kane verse, if anyone wants to join the movement. No questions, but you've helped me manifest my dream life. Living in Amalfi Coast. Okay, I love that. Miss or Mr. I'll just say De Corsi. Love that for you. I really want to get to the Amalfi Coast as well. And yeah, okay, I'll tell my deaf friends to join. Awesome, Gabrielle. Love that. All right, you guys, ladies, gentlemen, gays, theys, and thems, we are going to disconnect. I'm sending you so much love. We are always here. We are always queer. And yeah, I will see you very soon. Everyone also check out the Wandering Lioness, Christy Ann, one of my fave Leos. Happy B-Day to you, baby gal. And yeah, that's someone who I've watched expand into herself so beautifully over the last year. So love that. Yeah, throw your Instagram in there. She's also great. And okay. And happy birthday to Aaron Holland. Okay, I'm gonna let the interpreter go. I'm sorry, we're 11 minutes over. I will leave up the chat for another minute or so everyone can continue to trade information. I'm going to stop the recording now. Sending you guys so much love. Enjoy the workbook. Check out the music video. We have so much music and awesome content coming out like every 6 to 8 weeks. New. So I'm super excited to tap back into that part of myself. And yeah, it's also going to be accessible. So make sure the content you're making is accessible. We're working with deaf people in front and behind the camera. Super exciting. If you guys are interested in the Astro calendar I talked about, you can find it on my website. And we also have text message Astro updates available on my website. You'll find everything there and on Instagram. And okay, I'm going to really stop and let the interpreter go. Thank you, Sarah. I love your Leo season hairdo. Do you want to show off your feathers before you go? Yeah, love that. So cool. Okay, amazing. I will see you folks all very soon. Yeah, love you all. Ciao. Thank you for coming.